Welcome to New York Presbyterian Residency Training. Part 2 of this course will cover additional functions within EclinicalWorks version 10 that you, as a resident, will need to perform in order to complete your progress notes. There will be a self-assessment at the end of this portion of the course. Click anywhere on the screen to begin. To begin documenting review of systems, also referred to as ROS, click the ROS link within the progress note. Systems, represented by folders, are displayed in the left pane, and documentation is completed within the right pane. Click a Systems folder to begin documentation on that folder. The Review of Systems section has two default options: a Default for All option and the Default per Category option. The Default for All option will set the defaults for all the folders listed within the entire Review of Systems section. The Default per Category option will set the default for all of the fields within the category. You can make modifications even after the defaults have been set. You can clear the defaults within a category by clicking the Clear Category button, and the defaults for all sections by clicking the Clear All button. Unlike other sections, the ROS does not contain drop-down menus. Each time you click in the Presence field, the response will change. To achieve the desired response, continue clicking in the Presence field until the desired response is displayed. To begin manually entering data, click in the Presence field of the item you wish to document. To select a different response, click the field again, and an alternate response will be displayed. You can add notes by clicking in the Notes field, typing a free text note, and clicking the OK button to save the note. If after entering data you then decide to use the Default per Category option, the system will ask you to confirm that you would like to overwrite the changes you have made. Selecting Yes will allow the system to remove any data you entered in the category and replace it with the defaults. Once you have completed your ROS entries, close the window by clicking the X at the top of the window. In this example, the ROS section reflects what it would look like if no data had been saved for the current visit. From the ROS section of the progress note, it is possible to copy data from a previous note to the current note, or merge data from a previous note into the current note. To copy or merge data, click the drop-down arrow for the ROS section. Any data entered in the Review of Systems during the previous visit will populate here. In this example, data will be copied into the current note. The new patient visit will be selected to copy. Since the entire visit has been selected, all of the boxes within the visit are checked. Note that the copy function should only be used if the ROS section is cleared, so that no data that is already present will be overwritten. If data has been entered and you choose to then pull data from a previous visit, you would use the merge function instead. To copy the data to the current note, click the Copy button. The data that has been copied displays in the ROS section of the progress note. To enter patient vitals, click the Vitals link in the progress note. To enter an item, click in the field in the column for the item, and enter a value or values in the window. Click the right arrow to add the value to the window on the right, and click the Apply button. The BMI will self-populate once the height and weight have been entered. You can add a free text note in the Notes section of the window. When you have finished entering the vitals, click the X in the upper right corner of the window. The vitals information will display in the Vitals section of the progress note. To open the Examination section, click the Examination link. The section categories are in the left pane, and the data entry window is on the right. As in the Review of Systems section, there are no drop-down fields. Clicking in the Observation field for a category will generate a response. To open a category or subcategory for documentation, click it once. As is also the case in the Review of Systems section, you may choose the Select Default option. The Select Default option will populate all of the default values for the specified category. To clear the category, click the Clear Category option. Some of the default fields, represented by a blank line, require data input, which can be completed from the progress note. You can also eliminate the line by clicking on it and unchecking the box to the left of it. Click OK to see the applied changes. You can make changes to a section from the progress note by selecting the specific category you would like to modify. All categories are represented by green, uppercase letters. In this example, the head category will be selected. You can either select from a list of options on the left panel, or free text comments into the right panel. Any changes made here will be reflected in the progress note once you click OK. To open the assessment, click the assessment link. In the assessment window, the Smart Search field will allow you to search for a diagnosis. Begin typing a diagnosis. Click the Real-Time checkbox, and the diagnosis list will populate in the upper right panel. Click the appropriate diagnosis, and it will populate the selected assessments field. Click the X in the upper right corner of the window to close it, and the diagnosis will be displayed in the assessment section of the progress note. To select a diagnosis from a previous visit, click the down arrow, or caret to the right of assessment, and select a diagnosis or diagnoses. To add the selected diagnosis or diagnoses to the current note, use the merge function. Using the copy function will overwrite the existing information. To use the merge function, click the merge button, and the information will be added to the progress note. You can also add a diagnosis from the patient's problem list on the right panel, which will also be added to the progress note. The treatment section of the progress note is where lab tests and medications are ordered, based upon the patient's diagnosis. You cannot complete the section without first completing the assessment section. To begin ordering lab tests and medications, click the treatment link. In the treatment window, there is a tab for each diagnosis. In this example, the low back pain tab will be used. By selecting Current RX, you are given the option to discontinue, refill, or continue any current medications, as well as prescribe any additional medications. Note that in the left panel the diagnosis code for low back pain is checked. Always make certain that a diagnosis is checked prior to applying any changes. Medications are listed in the right panel. You can use one of the quick buttons to make changes to the listed medication. Hovering above a button will display the function of that button, as will be demonstrated. In this example, the Tylenol will be discontinued by clicking on the S button to the left of the listed medication. Once the order has been processed by the system, it will appear at the bottom of the Manage Orders window, below the low back pain diagnosis. To add a medication, click the Add New RX tab. Make certain that the real-time box is checked. Search for the medication by typing its name in the Find field. In this example, the medication name, Percocet, will be typed. When you have found the medication you wish to prescribe, click it, and you will be prompted with a list of options from which to choose. Choose the strength you desire to prescribe by clicking it. The prescribed medication, Percocet, appears in the selected RX section, at the bottom of the window. Note that changes can still be made after the Manage Orders window has been closed. Once you have completed adding medications, click OK to close the Manage Orders window. In the treatment window, to modify a medication, make certain that the pop-up option is checked, then select the medication you wish to modify. Note that the duration, dispense, and refill fields are mandatory in order to successfully e-prescribe. Make your changes to the selected medication here, in the medication window. Once you have made all of the desired changes, click the Apply button to save them. To place a diagnostic imaging order, select the appropriate diagnosis tab. In this example, the neck ache diagnosis will be used. Select Browse in the Diagnostic Imaging section. Note that this is the same Manage Orders window used to order medications, with imaging orders instead of medications displayed. Select the diagnostic imaging company to which you will be sending the order. Note that this decision may be based on the clinic. Please consult with your supervising attending physician to determine the correct diagnostic imaging company. Modify your filters to improve search list accuracy. Select the order you desire to place from the list. After you have completed selecting the orders, you may choose to transmit the order from this window, or use the Common Send feature upon completing the progress note. You can also print the order. In this example, the order will be sent from here, using the Quick Transmit button. In the Transmit window, make certain the order you desire to transmit is checked. In the Assign to field, select the assigned provider's name from the list. You can search for a provider's name by using the drop-down or the ellipsis. If you click the ellipsis, enter the provider's name in the search field. Select the provider, and click OK. Once you have selected the provider, click the drop-down arrow next to the Transmit button. Depending upon the clinic's workflow, you will choose to either print or transmit the order. You may also choose to print labels. If an error displays, select No. Note that the lab selected in the window is incorrect. The original lab selected was Main Street Radiology. The correct lab will be selected. The reason the error message was received is that the selected order was not linked to the selected lab. Once the error has been corrected, you can print, fax or transmit the order. To order a lab test, click the Browse button in the Law section, under the appropriate Diagnosis tab. Note that in the left panel, no diagnosis code has been checked. This will generate an error message later in the process. Similar to the diagnostic imaging orders, search for the lab you desire to order and select it from the provided list. And click OK. Next, click Quick Transmit. Note that when Quick Transmit is selected, an error displays indicating that the lab test that was ordered does not have an associated ICD code. Click OK. To resolve this error, click the ellipsis to the right of the order. Select the appropriate diagnosis from the list, and click Save. Once you have completed entering all orders, click OK. Additionally, you can type a free text note in the Notes section under each assigned diagnosis tab. To generate patient education documentation, click the Education button. Click Patient Education. The system will generate patient education materials for the diagnoses entered in the Assessment section. Click on the patient education you wish to print. Click Print this page. After printing, click the red X at the upper right to close the patient education. To print out medication education, click on the Education drop-down. Select RX Education. Select the appropriate language. Select the medication name. Click View RX Education. Medication education materials will appear. Click the Print button. Click the red X at the upper corner to close the window. Click X to close the treatment window. If applicable, click the Immunizations link. To create an immunization record, click Add. Click the vaccination in the left panel. Document whether the patient has received the vaccination in the past. If you cannot see the vaccination in the left panel, search for it using the Find box above the vaccine list. Use the Previous and Next buttons to scroll through the vaccine list. After selecting the vaccination, fill in the appropriate fields. Click the Save and New button to enter the next vaccination. Select the next vaccine from the panel at the left. Complete all required fields. Click OK. Upon completing immunizations, check I am verified. Click the red X to close the window. Note that immunizations given during previous encounters will not appear in the progress note for this visit. The patient's complete immunization history, including vaccines given this encounter, will appear under the Immunizations heading at the bottom of the right panel. To complete the note, click Visit Code under the Billing Information heading. Note all assigned diagnoses are listed on the top section. Click the Add E&M button. Select the appropriate visit type. Choose the visit code. Click OK. Note that the visit code appears in the Procedure Codes section. To add more procedure codes, click Add CPT. You can find codes by drilling down through the categories under CPT codes. Select a category. Find the correct CPT code and click to select it. Click OK. To make modifications to a billed item, click in the area you would like to modify. Select your modifier. Click OK. Click OK to add the modifier. Specify a follow-up date as needed. Enter a follow-up reason as needed. Upon completion of the billing section, click Done. You will then be prompted with the Common Send feature discussed earlier.
If you choose to use this feature, be sure to check off all appropriate fields as highlighted before clicking Send.
To assign a note to another provider, click the Details button drop-down. Select Change Assigned to. Click the To drop-down. Select the provider to whom you will assign this note. Click OK. You have now completed the patient's progress note. To return to the schedule, click the S jelly bean on the toolbar. A completed progress note will have a check mark in the note status column to the right of the patient's name. In order to view and apply templates, you may have to change your settings and restart the application. Click File on the top menu. Click Settings. My Settings. In the Settings window, select the Show Hide tab. Click to put a check mark above the word Templates. Click OK. Note that if you make changes to your settings you will only see them after logging off and logging back onto the application. Templates will be available on the chart panel at the right of your screen. Scroll right in the chart panel. Click the Templates button at the top of the chart panel. Current medications appear in each progress note. Scrolling down, we can see that the rest of the note is blank. To apply a template, simply click the left arrow next to the template name. Scrolling down, you will see that the note is now populated with observations specific to this template. These examination notes are from the Well Child template. In this case, you realize you have applied the wrong template. To remove these fields, you will apply a blank template. To apply a template that is not in your favorites, click the Templates button at the bottom of the screen. Click Generic to search all templates. Click in the Find box. In the Find box, enter the word blank. Click Go. Select the template titled Blank Template in capital letters. Note that there may be many templates containing the word blank, but only this one will work. Note, the items checked in the right pane of the window will be overwritten during this procedure. If you wish to delete everything in the current note, check the All Options item. Click the drop-down next to the Merge Templates button. The Copy function overwrites the current note with selected data from the new template. Click the drop-down next to the Merge Templates button. Click Copy Template. The Copy Template warning appears, indicating that you are about to overwrite the current information. Click Yes. You will see that all fields you selected, including current medication, have been overwritten and are now blank. From the top menu, click File, Templates. Click in the Templates field. Search for the template or templates for your location. Ask your administrator if you do not know which templates to choose. Click to select your template. Click Add as Favorite. Click OK. Click Close. Click the Refresh button at the lower right of the application window. The templates you selected have been added to your favorites. Click the blue and white arrow to apply your template to the progress note. The template has been applied to your progress note.